So on street accounts, they sent around that Bernstein launched on Novo, and they actually gave it two mentions: launched at an underperform and launched at a market perform. And so I don't know which one it launched as, but it's I thought maybe analysts have a new way of working both sides so that they can be right either way. My guess is it's an underperform. The stock's down a bit, and people are thinking, okay, this is the loser of the GLP-1s. I will say that the oral medication that they launched is doing exceptionally well. And so this will be a great buy at some point. It might be today. I'm still in the, hey, it's a little bit of a falling knife. Let it stabilize a bit. It looks like it's kind of stabilizing, but so this is going to turn out to be a good one if they can kind of just stabilize and figure out what they're doing in this kind of confusing market. But the race to the bottom continues, and so to make it worse, someone launches with an underperform. Lilly has some good news on their triple combination drug today in diabetes, and so another little bit of distance gets between Lilly and Novo.
Well, let me ask you about that, because the stock didn't care yesterday and doesn't care today on the news. So what's going to make Lilly go up if that kind of data doesn't change sentiment?
Yeah, I think what you're seeing with Lilly is that it just came too far too fast, and this race to the bottom. I think they just have to put up huge numbers now, because it's not super cheap, and they've done a ton of business development that I would bet that most analysts haven't figured out what they're buying. I don't even know the company knows, but I say that tongue in cheek. Obviously, they're a great company; they know what they're doing, but it's like a lottery winner. You ask them, well, what did you buy a year in? And they bought like 14 trucks, and they always wanted a vacation house, so they bought one. And they're just like a hodgepodge of things. From an outsider's view, it looks like Lilly's falling into that trap that things are going so well. Let's buy a bunch of things. Most of these are development stage, which will cost them money later on. So they're either very confident in the cash flow going forward and the earnings projections that, hey, we can make this, or they're setting themselves up for a disappointment. I think the only way that this stock works now is if they beat and raise by a lot.
Yeah, that's a tough chart also. You pretty much need to hang on that right there, don't you, Kevin? Right? You pretty much need this thing to hold right here, otherwise,
Well, and this is we're seeing this all over the place. The teasing of the 200-day moving average, and the strongest of stocks with the best of stories, are doing this and taunting the market, if you will. And then the ones that are questionable, they've already sliced through the 200-day C financials. And I think Lilly is a little bit like NVIDIA and Palantir. They can blow apart numbers on every line of the income statement, and the market won't reward them. And I think that's where we are.
Yeah, so not cheap companies aren't holding up. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? I mean, when the overall market's going down, what are you going to sell? Are you going to sell the high-flying, high multiple names, or are you going to kind of... Now, they're selling everything, but this one's where I think people are kind of asking, well, what's next? So I will say one other thing on a small cap name, Ovid, OVID. Kevin will remember this one because I brought it up as a penny stock of, like, you know what? I think it's a good play if you have a lot of risk. Well, yesterday they did a big financing with a lot of warrants. So if you're an institutional investor, you lucked out. The folks involved, though, that are mentioned in the press release, so there are countless others who aren't in the press release, but you have Balyasny and Adage, two really smart firms in healthcare. Obviously, Balyasny is a hedge fund, so they can be a lot of different ways. But to be in the press release shows that they're interested. I think that I'm sticking with it. It's up, I don't know, 400% since I mentioned it on Wall Street Beats, or since I bought it, which is when. But with cash now it's more about execution. So I wouldn't make the big prediction that this is the next Lilly, but I'm there and I'm playing along with a small position.
Have you sold any?
I'm sure I did. I'm sure I have. Not. I mean, I'm still at the same dollar amount. I'm at a higher dollar amount than a while ago. So I'm sure I have.
This is the nicest looking chart on the daily level that I've seen in a month. That's gorgeous.
Well, it's easy to have gorgeous things on $2 stocks, right? It's hard to make a lot of money on $2 stocks unless that's your business. So, and that's not mine. I tend to own bigger cap names, but this has been a fun one.
But 60 cents to 232 is pretty damn good. So good for you. Can I throw something at you?
Sure.
And we have been circling the wagons on this. This is Kodak, which I thought was dead, and it's not so dead. This is a nice looking chart, and it's a nice looking chart in a lousy tape. Been up every day over the last 4 days on above average volume. They apparently converted their pension around. Took a $400 million of debt down, lowered their interest expense by $40 million. They have a division, print is down 3%, which, that's 75% of the business. 25% of the business is AMC, which is chemicals and medical business. That's growing 25%. And, it looks like something's going on here. Apparently there's some dilution that can happen at $10 plus, but this is a turnaround that looks promising. Full disclosure, I can't own individual names, and this isn't going to show up in any ETF where it's going to matter. But I just keep looking at this thing and saying something's going on here. And for those who can participate, I would sharpen the pencils, because Kodak isn't dead, and I thought it was.
They came out yesterday or the day before saying that they're rolling out more print film options. And I was like, really? For whom? But I guess there's someone out there still with some film cameras.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else in healthcare. I mean, obviously there's a lot of news going on, but there's not biotech's actually not getting as hurt as I thought it would. Healthcare has been underperforming the S&P this last week. It was down 2%, while the S&P was down like 1.6, and that's kind of continued a little bit this the first half of this week. I don't think it's a massive underperformance though, so I don't think there's anything that's taking away from the idea of healthcare. Still looks pretty good.
All right. Well, I think let's wrap it there. It was a good little show. We got David back in the mix, so that's good. I am Benjamin Bride. That is Kevin Bakes-Baker, David Maris. This is Wall Street Beats, coming at you every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, and we will be back to